tell you what we're doing. I've been at Dunn now for 8 weeks. I can't believe it. And obviously there are a lot of balls in the air. You know, you come in and sort of across the system. I walked in at a time when the system is ripe for change and everybody wants everything done all at once. And as you know very well, it's generally not possible to do that. So here's the way we're tackling it. And then I'll make a couple of comments about a couple of particular invitations I'd like to extend to you. Internally, we're working on several things. One is to try to figure out what the most effective organization for the department staff is. Because many of the issues you raise have to do with the way we work with you. And we understand that there are some places where things are working really well and some areas where they're not working really well. And so we're in the process of planning and talking with, interviewing all of our individual employees to make sure we know and they know what they're doing. There will be some redefinition of some of those jobs. One of the concepts that we're working on, how many of you, when I say an organization chart, do you picture a box at the top and then like 3 boxes and then like 10 boxes and so on? Yeah. Okay, well that's an organization model that we don't think is appropriate for this department. So the new concept that we're thinking about is, you know, when you drop a pebble in a pool, it makes concentric circles. There's a small circle and then a bigger circle and a bigger circle. Picture in your mind that target, that bullseye model where there's a center and then concentric circles. Now put neighborhood councils in the middle. Put the project coordinators or the field staff in the next ring. Put maybe the funding staff who also work directly with neighborhood councils in the next ring, and so on, with systems and administration and the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners and so forth, in those various rings, and then draw a pie-shaped wedge, starting in the middle of that circle and working out across all the rings. Our thought is that while some people's job descriptions are more directly tied to the neighborhood councils than others, all of us should be focusing on the service of those neighborhood councils, whether we're an auditor, whether we're an accountant, whether we're a clerical person, whether we're the receptionist at the front desk or the general manager or what. That all of us should be targeting that neighborhood council in the middle of the circle. And we're trying to now look at how do we define our jobs, organize ourselves, create a structure within the department that has every single human being in the department directly focused on service to the neighborhood councils. It's easy to say that and to conceptualize that. Doing it within a system with 50 employees and civil service and a lot of other factors is a little bit harder. And so we're not going to get it done instantly, but we have a staff retreat planned for May 30th and 31st that will enable us to have the different teams talking to one another, to be able to create a plan. I will share with you that at this moment, it's not a strategic plan. It's an action plan for 3, 6, 9, and 12 months in order to get some things done while we're waiting for the recommendations of the Review Commission to come through. Because we understand that some of the recommendations that come from the Review Commissions may have strategic implications for the department. We don't want to make one big change now and have to then make another big change next summer, for example. And so we're trying to figure out what items we can address very quickly that are giving all of you heartburn, that are in some cases giving the city attorney heartburn or the controller heartburn. You know, you all were asking me last time, what have you learned? And of course, I hadn't been there that long. Now that I've been there forever, I will tell you that one of the very interesting things I've learned is that the department has not only 89 neighborhood councils, it has a board of neighborhood commissioners and a review commission and 15 city council members, a city controller, a city attorney, and a lot of other folks telling us what we need to be doing and asking us to be doing things, and they don't all have the same opinion. For example, the city attorney is saying neighborhood council's role is to advise the city council they should not be doing projects in their community. That's the philosophical orientation of the attorneys we work with. Now, they understand that neighborhood councils have sometimes carved out other kinds of roles for themselves, but that gives them heartburn. And so we've got city attorneys on the one hand saying they should just be advising the city council and not doing all these projects. And on the other hand, we've got a mayor who's saying we think having them do projects out in the community is great. And we've got city council members, a budget and finance committee particularly, saying, you know, they should be paying for city services. They should be giving their money to help pay for a coordinator in the planning department to work with neighborhood councils. And you ought to poll them to ask them to all pony up some of the money to do that. So as you can see, we're getting a lot of advice that sometimes runs counter to each other. So trying to sort through all of that and figure out how we create an effective way to serve the neighborhood councils, juggling all of those various demands is the big interesting challenge that we have right now. And trying to have the right staff members with the right job descriptions, with a common vision and mission understanding, and appropriate professional development work. We understand that not all of our project coordinators have been on the same page. They don't all have the same skills. They don't all have the same capacities. They don't all understand the city government in the same way. They don't all understand their neighborhood council's needs in the same way. And frankly, they haven't all had the same understanding of what their job is. We're trying to remedy that, begin to put in place professional development to help them learn, not only for us to develop a commonly understood job description for them, for which we would like your input, by the way. We would like to know from you and your board, what is it you want from your project coordinator? You can send that directly to me at carol.tharp@lacity.org, carol.tharp, no E's on the end of either of those, at lacity.org, and if you would put in the subject line what we want from project coordinators, that would be really helpful. I'm getting several hundred emails a day. I absolutely apologize to you if you send me something and I don't get back to you right away. I'm really working hard to do that, but I'm not doing a good job of responding to every email immediately, and I apologize for that. However, if you'll put that subject line, it will help me pick those out and put them into our process right now.